How is it going, guys? Last week we finally reinstalled some headlights on the GR86. If you haven't seen that video yet, definitely check it out above. We had some custom headlights made by Circuit Demon, but today we're gonna be changing out the lights on the back of the car. So right now we have the stock tail lights and reverse lights still installed on the car. They obviously look a little bit different because they've got these smoked overlays that I make installed. If you're interested in those, you can pick them up on the driven.media website. But we're gonna be swapping these out, both the tail lights and reverse light, and we're gonna be trying something new. We've got a set of side markers with DRLs built in, a fourth brake light, and of course, a set of new tail lights. These are all from AEMTuners.com. You can pick any of these up alongside other GR86 and BRZ parts on their website, and you can use the code AEM-KV to get 10% off your order. I'll link it down below so you can check it out. But let's start by taking these stock lights off the rear of the car, and we can install the fourth brake light and the tail lights. To remove the taillights, we've got three 10mm bolts. Two of them are gonna be behind this cover here, so grab a plastic pry tool or a flathead screwdriver, shove it into this gap and pry the cover off. That reveals these two bolts we'll remove. The last of the three is gonna be on the very top. That allows us to pull the tail light out by sliding it to the back of the car. Yours is probably gonna be a little bit more resistant, but keep working at it and you'll be able to pop it off the tabs. Now we need to unplug it. I also need to unplug the DIY fourth brake light I have installed. I haven't removed this one as much, so it might give me a little bit more, just kidding. Thought it was gonna be more difficult than that. To remove the reverse light, there's three pop clips on the bottom here. Go ahead and take those out. That allows us to pull this cover off. There's two 10mm bolts holding the assembly in place. Before we pull this completely off the car, we need to disconnect the reverse light harness, and I need to pull out the harness for my fourth brake light. To install the fourth brake lights, I'm going to route the leads back out through the hole where the reverse light connector goes through, and I'll pull through all this slack. You're also going to have this switch here that you'll need to connect, and I'm actually going to route this to the passenger side, and then this can just slide into the slots. And we can reinstall the two 10mm bolts. So this is actually a prototype fourth brake light. I was told that the future models would be plug and play. So normally you'd have to route the leads here up towards the tail light, but I'm gonna be using a proprietary FT Speed Quick Connect. So instead, I'm gonna route this down towards the fourth brake light. So we'll connect the OEM harness into the Quick Connect. And then this is gonna go to the tail light. Let's take a quick look at the wiring. Keep in mind yours may be a little bit different. Like I said, this is a prototype. So I've got the Quick Connect harness here that actually has 5 leads, but we're only gonna be using 3. We have the black ground, the red, which is the brake, and pink, which is our running light. You can see that I've taken the stock reverse light harness off of our OEM lights and plugged it back in, and that is because our white wire here from the fourth brake light is the reverse, and this has an extension that is able to plug into the OEM socket, and that way I don't have to tap into any OEM harnesses. The rest of the 3 here, we have the black ground, that's gonna go to the black wire on the Quick Connect. We've got the green, which is the running light, that will go to the pink on my Quick Connect, and then the blue, which is the brake light, that's gonna go to the red on our Quick Connect. So I'm gonna get these all connected, and then we need to tuck all these wires away. So blue to red, green to pink, and black to black. We've got all the wiring tucked away. For those of you who are wondering, that switch over here is to control the F1 blinking of the brake light, but now we can reinstall this cover. And we can go up and install the taillights. Before we install the taillights, we do need to transfer over this upper part here. I have the taillight flipped upside down. But what's crazy is they actually use security screws on the taillight. It's these screws with the little pin in the middle here, so we can't just use a normal T20 bit. I had to run home and grab my security bit set here, so we can remove these two screws and transfer this plastic piece over. Transfer this over to the new one. And we can install this onto the car. Our new lights should plug right into the quick connect. And pay attention to this area right here. If the white tab came out on your stock taillights, make sure to transfer it over to the new ones. And then slide this into position. And then we can reinstall the bolts. We can pop this cover back on. Last one up top. Then we can finish up on the other side and we can test them out. Now that we've seen the lights on the car, I'm gonna hop inside and run through the functions with you guys real quick. We'll start by turning the lights on, and you'll see both the taillights and the fourth brake light have a cool startup sequence. The startup sequence of the taillights is quite a bit longer than the fourth brake light, maybe a little bit too long, but it is cool to see. It has kind of a retro Tetris style to it. But once that's done, we'll see that the running light is going to be the C light portion of the tail light and the bar on the fourth brake light. And when I step on the brake for the tail light, it's going to be in between that C light, and for the fourth brake light, it's the middle portion. And it should be flashing in cadence of 3 flashes, and then it stops, and then 3 more flashes, and continues on like that. I'm going to hit the hazards. And this is going to be a sequential turn signal. That's the top portion of the taillight. Pretty cool feature. We'll turn this off, and let me get the car in the on position, and we'll go into reverse. So this is going to be the reverse light. It's going to be the bottom portion of the fourth brake light. Now let me turn all the lights off, and I'll step on the brake again so you can see how the lights look with just the brakes and the lights off during the day. So if I step on the brake for the taillight, it's going to be pretty much that whole section. So the running light section that was on when you turn the lights on, and the middle portion of the taillight, and it's going to be the same for the fourth brake light, just that middle portion. So I'm going to hop out, and I'm going to press that switch, and that should turn that blinking function off, and it also turns the startup sequence of the fourth brake light off. So now, when I turn the lights on, it should just come on. The startup sequence is still on for the taillight, but not the fourth brake light. And when I step on the brake, it should be a solid brake light. I gotta say, this is a neat taillight option for these cars. I love that they kept the turn signal simple with it just being straight across the top, but with the sequential feature, it gives it that modern look. I also enjoy the running light here. It's the popular C-light design we're seeing a lot of, but they're breaking this outer portion apart into different sections to give it that unique look. I almost wish the brake light function lit up that section even brighter instead of being the middle portion here, but I'm nitpicking at that point. I also like the fact that they kept this black outer portion to mimic the design of the OEM light. And with the fourth brake light being from the same company, it ties in very well and just rounds out the lighting of the rear end. But let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. Again, if you want to pick these up for yourself, you can save 10% off using my code AEM-KV on the website. I'll link everything down below, but let's go check out the side markers. After taking a good hard look at these, I'm not really in love with them, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Just because I get a new product from a company doesn't mean I'm gonna shove it down your throat. If I don't like something, I'll tell you. Looks, though, are subjective, so just because I don't like something doesn't mean you can't like it. So I will install these on the car and wire them up just to show you how they look, but they probably aren't staying on the car. I don't know, maybe we should do a giveaway. Let me know if you guys would be interested in these once you see them on the car, and we can do something in a future video. To remove the side marker, we've got these 3 pop clips here. Just take a flathead screwdriver and press in the center portion of them. And then you can pry the fender liner out and they'll just pop out like so. This allows you to peel the fender liner back, and you've got a connector right here. Not sure how well you guys can see that, but go ahead and disconnect that. And then there's also a 10mm nut that we need to remove. There's gonna be a tab on the bottom and the top of the side marker that you just need to depress, and you can press the light out. To install the new side marker, we just need to route the wiring through this hole here, and it's got an extra wire because it has the DRL feature built in. And we're gonna pop it into place. Now we just need to reinstall the nut on the back side, reconnect the OEM harness to the side marker, and route that new wire up to the engine bay. Normally, if you're installing those side markers on the car and they're staying on there, what you wanna do is route the green wire to the headlight harness and tap it into the DRL wire, which is that white wire here. If you're looking at it from the top, it's the bottom right-hand side. I think it's the only white wire in this harness. Same thing over on the driver's side, but tap it into there and it'll run just like your DRLs. But since, like I said, I'm not keeping those on the car, I'm gonna just route it directly to the battery just to show you how they look. Let's do a quick walk around here. For the side markers, I do like that it's a smoked lens and that they added the DRL functionality. I just wish it was a little bit different of a design. One thing to note, after you install these, you actually can't reinstall the middle pop clip because these are a little bit thicker. It blocks off a portion of the hole. Not a huge deal because you have the other two, but if you look at the OEM one here, it actually has a cutout to prevent that from happening. Let's head to the back of the car. I'm gonna turn the lights on so we can see the taillights and fourth brake light again. I'm actually really impressed with the fitment of these taillights. The gap all around is uniform and it's a tight fitment. I'm really happy with these. For the fourth brake light, that bar there is gonna remind you of the first gen Valenti fourth brake lights. You really can't go wrong with that design. And the overall light package in the rear, I gotta say, looks fantastic. So those are the tail lights, fourth brake light, and side markers from AEMTuners.com. If you're interested in picking up some for yourself, the links are all down in the description. Don't forget to use the code AEM-KV to get 10% off your order. If these weren't for you and you want to stick with the stock taillights, visit driven.media for some smoked overlays to support the channel. I'm going to leave you guys with some more footage of the lights. Comment down below your thoughts. What else would you like to see on the car? If you're enjoying the content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.